All right, guys, this is the CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I'm your host, Nick Qualley, sitting here with, like always, Marv and with Mike Molyneux. So, with everything that is happening in the world today, a lot of teams are coming together and they are speaking with their coaches, with the teams overall. A lot of teams are having. I think the Patriots themselves had a virtual meeting. Yeah, you can't get together. So, I believe the Patriots had their own virtual meeting, and with the Patriot way, it's known to keep things in-house. And I'm going to take verbatim the way that Marv phrased this question because I thought it was good. Although the Patriots way is known to keep things in-house, should Bill Belichick have to send a notice on what's happening in the world? Should he make a public statement? Bill Belichick has never said anything publicly, really. He likes to keep everything in-house, and he likes to not have anybody know really anything that's going on with these meetings inside the wall, but inside the walls of Gillette Stadium. But this is different this time. Things are different. So Matt Slater came out and he spoke with NBC Sports Boston regarding this. He said, quote, "I think Coach has a good, healthy understanding of the gravity of the situation and the times that we're living in. I think he's done a good job of trying to listen, trying to learn and hear from his players and try to navigate this as best as he can. Look, I understand what his job is. His job is to coach the football team and get the football team ready to be successful, and nothing's going to take his focus away from that. But I do think that it's important, as he has done, to hear from his players and understand that, hey, at the end of the day, football is temporary. What we're left with is who we are as people, the values and beliefs, and our experiences, and the results of those experiences. That's what we're going to be left with. So I'm sure that he'll continue to be open and receptive and be receptive to us having dialogue. I'm thankful for what he has done thus far, and as far as that process is concerned, and we'll just see how it goes as we press forward." So, guys, with that, do you think Bill Belichick should make a public statement? Should he come out and make a public statement? Marv, we'll start with you. What do you think?
So, with Matthew Slater's comments, you can tell that Matthew Slater has a lot of respect for Bill Belichick, right? He has a lot of respect for Bill Belichick, and when he's being very smart with the words he uses, and he always is. That's why he's the captain of the team. He's very good with his words and not trying to ruffle any feathers. Yep. But you can tell there's a disconnect. With this statement, Matthew Slater said there is some type of disconnect. Yeah, the coach is trying to hear us out. I know he has his job and he's doing this. Look, listen, at the end of the day, Bill Belichick will never understand how it is to be Matthew Slater, how it is to be Devin McCourty. And what's going on in this world right now is so much bigger than football. It's way bigger than football. And Matthew Slater just said it. This is what we're doing right now. This is temporary. When Slater leaves that football field, when he's in that car, he's another black man that could be targeted in this world. How powerful would it be if Bill Belichick would come out with a statement saying, "Hey, I don't know what my players are going through, but I'm here as a white man with privilege, and I want to learn, I want to listen, and I want to do better for my team and for everyone else out in the world." So awareness right now is huge. Other white people hearing that come from Bill Belichick, one of the greatest or the greatest coach of all time, who has probably, we all know he has a huge ego on top of the top. He said, "I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to listen. I know what's going on in this world is not right." Who cares if you like to keep things in-house? Right now, this is way bigger than in-house. This is a global war. It's a war that's going on targeting black people. So come out with a statement saying you want to learn, you want to use your privilege to help. I think that would go a long way with your players and with a long way with people who listen and watch you and want to gain that awareness as well.
So just thinking about who Bill Belichick is physically. He's an old white man. And like you said, he is the greatest football coach of all time. There's a lot of influence there. If he came out, Marv, like you just said, if he came out and he spoke publicly with his players, for his players, if he stood up there with people like with players, people like Matt Slater, like Devin McCourty, and they had that open conversation there for people to see, it doesn't matter that Belichick likes to keep things in house. This is different. This isn't okay. We're going to protect this scheme. We're gonna hide things from the Tennessee Titans. This is totally different. And it would be huge for Bill Belichick to come out, and I think that would not only help a lot of people, or that would make a lot of people happy outside of the organization, but it would really bring his team together too. I think a lot of his players would really, really appreciate that. Somebody who's always speaking for matters like this is Greg Popovich, and his players love him for that.
Yep.
Right.
Very true.
Do you guys agree with me with the Slater comment? That do you guys feel like there was some type of disconnect there, or am I reading it differently than you guys are?
Yeah, Mike, I'll let you go first there because I was going to say something on that too. But like, just give me your full response here, including what Marv just asked.
I mean, yeah, I can see where you're coming from, Marv, and the response didn't really dive into anything crazy in terms of what they talked about. And I can, maybe that's just Matthew Slater being Matthew Slater, not really diving into the conversation. Or maybe that is what you're saying, Marv. He's just kind of, I don't want to say walking on eggshells, but it was still some kind of disconnect in the conversation with what they had. What I will say, and you guys pretty much hit the nail right on top of the head. We understand Bill Belichick, the great football coach in the world of football in the NFL. You want to keep things under wraps. You want to stand in front of the media and not give too much information about what your schemes are. That's cool and all. That's fine. We're talking about something much bigger than football. And the fact that Bill Belichick has all the respect out there, a lot of people, look at him as such a great, person who he's made a way as a great coach. People look at Bill Belichick as, a great person in a sense. Even though you have this whole persona in a sense built up in the world of football with something bigger taking place, you got to step out of that realm and speak on something that is happening around you that has nothing to do with football, but it has to do with the way people are living and live their lives. And we've said this numerous times. We've said on this show, we've said on other shows, different conversations. Belichick has a major platform. And anybody can have these conversations. I don't care if you're a celebrity, you're not a celebrity, your status in the world, doesn't matter. Anybody can have these conversations. But if you do have that platform, similar to Bill Belichick and other coaches and athletes out there, if you have a platform where a lot of people are going to zone in and key in on any single word and comment that comes out of your mouth, you need to use that. Belichick needs to use that because he has that. I don't care what kind of laid-back personality, quiet type of person he is. If you really have that compassionate in your heart and that care to want to see things different, want to see things change and care about your players and the people around you, you got to speak up. You have to speak up. Belichick has to speak up. So it's cool. He had a Zoom meeting with his players to see what everything's at. That's fine and dandy. But as a greatest coach of all time that has that celebrity status, that platform, you need to let the world and the people know how you really feel. Because again, like I think Marv said, people are going to take notice. People are going to take notice. So, again, Belichick, speak up. Speak up. Don't just leave it for Zoom meetings with Slater and the team and McCourty, whatnot. They know how you feel. Let the world know how you feel. Because they'll shape
Belichick has that platform, like you said, that he's such a powerful and iconic figure in just the history of the NFL that if there are still somehow people who are teetering, which I find it basically impossible, but if there's still somehow people teetering on this matter, and then they hear a guy like Bill Belichick come out and show that he's on the right side of history here, that could take people and push them and say, hey, you know what? Bill Belichick's saying this, which they shouldn't need Bill Belichick to say it, but they might see this and be like, okay, maybe I should educate myself about this. Maybe I should think about this in a different way. Marv, what you were asking earlier about Matt Slater and his conversation, his words, I think that I'm with you. I think hidden in there, because like Matt Slater, very articulate man, very smart man. I think hidden in there is him saying, Coach, it would mean a lot to a lot of us if you came out and said something publicly. I see that hidden there. I think without him, because he doesn't want to come out, and he's not this kind of guy. And I'm not even saying he's mad at Bill Belichick, but I think that hidden in there, without saying it directly, I think he is trying to say, Coach, this would be a huge thing if you came out and said this. If you came out and helped us out. If you came out and spoke. So Bill's got to come out and say something.
It'd be huge, man. You got guys
it would
like
be massive.
Popovich, make statements. I've seen a lot of Steve Kerr is very active on social media with the way he feels. He doesn't hold back at all. Like, you got the status, you got the level. Why not show the people, like you said, Nick, what side of history you're on, what side of the fence, or what side you're on? How do you feel? Where do you stand with everything? Let people know.
Anything else, guys, before we wrap it up?
I just want to say, whether Bill Belichick says something or doesn't say anything, in what's going on right now, we don't need validations from people of high status, right? At the end of the day, Bill Belichick is a white man, and he doesn't know or can't. He doesn't know what black males go through every single day. So we do not need validation. It's not a need, is what I'm trying to say. It's not a need for a validation from people of high status to say something. But where we at right now, with awareness and keep spreading it and learning more, that's what's important. Having people around you, your cousins, your nephews, your friends, your neighbors, everyone being aware of what's happening in this world is very important right now and can't be ignored.
Something I think is important too, and Mike, you and I spoke about this last week a lot on a different show, is that the conversation just has to keep going. It has to be continuous conversation. The momentum has to continue. And I think something like this with the New England Patriots, they're obviously incredibly influential in this area. If they just backed it, if they come out publicly, they will help continue that conversation. They will help with that momentum.
Big time, big time. Doesn't matter who you are, who you play for, where you work. The conversation needs to just continue to roll everywhere, every single place.
All right, guys. Anything else before we wrap it?
That's it, man. Good stuff, per usual.
CLNS Media, Patriots Roundtable. Nick Quaglia, Marv, Mike Molyneux. Guys, we will be back next week with 2 more episodes of the show. Again, follow us on Twitter like usual. Garrett, shout out to you for putting our Twitter handles down here. Again, Nick Quaglia, Marv, Mike Molyneux. Guys, we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening on iTunes.